All right, welcome back to Long Island's #1 pro wrestler broadcast, Monte The Pharaoh, only seen here out of Indie Music TV. By the way, friend Mitch Seinfeld said, you gotta stop saying Long Island.
Yeah, it's the world.
I just love it, though.
It's the world.
He says do Galaxy.
Ooh. Universe?
But at what point do people like, all right, enough?
Yeah, you guys, all right. I like Galaxy, though. That's
people
cool.
were looking, by the way,
we
got the icon Barry Horowitz in.
Yes.
But people were interested in our SummerSlam discussion.
Okay.
But we'll do that next week.
Okay.
All right.
That's fine. That's fine. What do we got? What's first? It's probably not wrestling from what I see here.
No, it isn't.
All right.
Family sues Georgia doctor after baby was decapitated during delivery. Lawsuit alleges. A family says a Georgia doctor used too much force and decapitated a woman's baby. I'm sorry.
Dude, this can't be real. Come on, man. Why are you laughing?
Just like
So where do you find this shit? Seriously, where do you?
I'm sorry.
I mean, it's supposed to take the
Wow,
umbilical cord off, not the head.
I can't believe
What is going on?
I can't believe I'm laughing.
Oh, my God. Because this can't be real. That's why you're laughing. This can't be real.
A woman's baby after became stuck during delivery, according to a lawsuit filed on Wednesday.
So when he put his foot on the leg and just pull until...
Plaintiff 20-year-old Jessica Ross is suing Dr. Tracy St. Julianne of the Southern Regional Medical Center at the Hospital of Riverdale, Georgia.
What'd y'all do? This is horrendous.
Where she went into labor with her first child on July 9th. The medical malpractice lawsuit filed a count.
You're not going to make it through this.
I just...
You're not making it through this.
What happens? Like, the body just comes out, the head is still inside?
I would like to know, was it Dr. Howard, Dr. Fine, and Dr. Howard? Because it's possible.
Well, what is he pulling the head and the head comes
That's
off?
what I'm saying. He put his foot on the inside of the leg, the thigh, and just pulled.
Dude, I can't.
Like, what are you doing?
I can't.
This is not real. This is not real. It can't be. It cannot be. It can't. And if it is real,
it's like...
That's not real. This is not
real. Could you imagine a mother? Like, what? I mean, what? And then the baby, if she pulls the head off, the baby's still stuck. It's like,
this is getting sick. This is getting sick.
All right, okay.
I feel sick.
I'm sorry I put this on the script.
This can't be. No, you're not.
Barry's already hung up.
Barry's like, and relationship over. Oi.
Not talking to you anymore. Way to go, Pharaoh.
I can think of a few people I wish this had happened to.
By the way, this is the first script that Pharaoh wrote in the last
I didn't write this.
And you look what you do.
I love how he just deflects it to me. You do. I write the scripts. Yeah, you wrote this one, you jackhammer. What is this?
I didn't write it. You did.
I did. Yeah, sure. When in doubt, just blame the Pharaoh. Well, it's my fault with the Jets, too. We know that. 55 years of curses, it's my fault. I got it.
Upcoming...
Oh, my God. It's one of the stupidest things I've ever seen.
September 15th. Upcoming show, September 15th, in studio at 6:30 p.m., the return of Manny Fernandez.
Yes.
September 17th, Barry's back. Barry Windham returns.
How's his singing voice? That's what I want to know. Come
on,
Barry.
Check that
We're
out.
jamming.
September 29th, PN News returns into respect to his best friend, Mike Mantor.
Yep.
He'll be in studio coming in from Europe. Okay, We've got Duke the Dumpster Drosy also that day on
he's finally with us. Nice. Okay.
And then also Doink, not officially announced yet, Doink the Clown and T.L. Hopper.
Okay.
And somewhere in between that, I told you Ken Shamrock is in the works.
I'm losing my mind. Look at Abe. Abe can't wait.
And November 12th, Paul London comes in.
I'm really psyched about Paul London. That's awesome.
I would like to sing. I would like to.
You like to sing?
I just.
What are you going to sing about? Decapitated babies? I mean, what are we doing?
I would like to thank.
I'd
like to thank the band that sings the theme song for Monte The Pharaoh, Jimmy Farrell, along with his partner Bart Griggs. Make up the band with Stereo Hall.
Bart, man!
Stereo Hall sings such great songs as In My Dreams, This Life, Not Far Behind, Here Comes the Rain. Yeah. You can find their music on the Stereo Hall YouTube page. What do you do with that?
You like and subscribe, and then you switch on over to our channel. I don't know if I'm begging you after that opening monologue to like, subscribe, and please become a member anyway.
Don't worry, Pharaoh will be punished for his script.
I will be punished.
Download with Stereo Hall's music on Spotify, Apple Music, and Reverb Nation. If you didn't know it, you are watching the world world's #1 pro wrestling broadcast, Monte The Pharaoh. You catch us on the Monte The Pharaoh YouTube page, the Facebook Live page.
Yeah.
Hear us on iHeartRadio, Spotify, Anchor, the Monte The Pharaoh Twitch TV page.
Yes.
And if you're lucky enough to live in New York, you
Lucky.
can see the reduced version of the great Barry Horowitz on
abbreviated.
Channel 115 every Tuesday
Jesus.
at 9:30 p.m. and
6
Saturday
years
at
of this. It's
11:30 a.m.
abbreviated.
Channel 20
Right.
Tuesday at 7 p.m. where over 150,000 people watch us weekly.
Yup.
I want to also
Yep.
thank Dark Side of the Ring, who
Yeah.
took the Monte The Pharaoh clip for the season finale and
Right.
used it on the Marty Jannetty
That was pretty.
thing, which was
that's-
pretty cool.
That's pretty cool.
Right? I was telling Jimmy today, it's like, you got your podcast, and we're not a podcast, right?
No, we're a television show.
But if you want to put us in the realm of podcasting, you've got, click this, right?
Sure.
Kevin Nash, Stone
Yeah.
Cold Steve Austin,
Sure.
83 Weeks,
Yeah.
Ric Flair. But
Yeah.
then you got your second tier. And second tier is where Monte The Pharaoh is on top.
So we
on
are
top of the
currently
world.
holding the Intercontinental title.
We are currently holding. And what happens
Nice.
when you hold the Intercontinental title?
You know what comes next?
That's right.
That
baby.
WrestleMania main event.
You ain't
there
kidding.
we go.
And with
Sweet.
great guests like Barry Horowitz and previously the Sal Carente interview, nothing but home runs.
And breaking news such as the thing I wrote at the beginning.
And look, if you can't
take
afford
credit now.
if you can't afford YouTube or you can't afford Facebook,
Yeah.
which you should be able to, but if you can't,
Okay.
there's an app out there, Intuitive.
Right. And
The-
that's, I even know how to spell this.
Go ahead, spell it.
IN2ITIVE. Intuitive. Get into
Network.
it. Get into it.
Exactly.
And what was that 4-letter word that we love to mention when it comes to intuitive? What is it? It's free.
There you go,
Good
brother.
Lord. And you know why we are the world's #1 pro wrestling broadcast?
Why would that be, Jimmy?
Because Jim Beam said so.
That's right, baby. That's really all that matters.
Yeah.
Intuitive Network, free documentaries, great movies, great comedy acts, music videos.
All great.
It is the future, guys. Get in it now because
Yep.
Netflix was free and now you pay. Be a
That's
free
right.
member. Maybe you get godfathered in on an Intuitive Network, right?
You got to be early to the race.
And then maybe at some point, Monte The Pharaoh won't be on YouTube anymore. Maybe they will just be exclusively on the Intuitive Network. Is that a possibility?
Why not? Why is that not a possibility? I mean, after I wrote that awesome intro, I mean, it's a definite.
I want to quickly, before we get
He wrote it.
Before we get to Barry, I want to remind everybody, yesterday the great ECW legend Todd Gordon was in house.
Oh, man. That was
Todd
amazing.
wrote a book along with Sean Oliver.
Yes.
Right? The great Sean
The
Oliver.
Great Sean Oliver, yes.
Todd is God.
Yep.
The authorized story on how I created Extreme Championship Wrestling.
That was very
Get it on Amazon
fantastic.
and where books are sold. I'll be reading it this weekend. Todd Gordon was fantastic yesterday.
Oh,
we
man.
followed up with the great Sal Carente.
Sal was
And
great.
boy, who's going to finish us home on a Thursday? Barry Horowitz.
We shall see you in a second.
Sir?
Ah.
Manscaped?
Uh-huh.
Have you tried the new equipment that's been sent?
I'm afraid because it says weed whacker. I'm scared.
Maven, Manscaped, what are you thinking about
Love it.
Manscaped, dude?
Love it.
What do you use it for?
Necessity. What don't I use it for? Put it this way. The only hair I have on my entire body is these eyebrows.
Yeah.
That you see. These caterpillars racing to the middle of my nose. That's it.
That is it.
That's all I have. And that's all I want.
That's the
So
bit.
Manscaped is a
You-
must.
We were talking before the show. There's nothing worse than just hair.
Yeah.
Right? Hair on a woman, hair on a man. It's just bad.
Absolutely. And it's the one thing that the older I get, it starts growing more in unwanted areas.
Absolutely.
I hate it.
I'm going to ask you a question.
Uh-oh.
Just going to go out there.
Oh, boy.
Go for it.
You're doing a deed.
Yes.
Again, I don't want you to have to admit this because we, as men, we try not to admit this. But if you're going to
Oh,
go
I
do
know
the deed
where-
on a woman,
I know where
would you
he's
rather
going.
have her be hairless or a little hair, racing stripe, or
Racing stripe.
full retro bush?
Well,
Racing stripe.
Retro Bush is out.
Yes, thank you.
Retro Bush is out.
Yeah.
I don't mind a small, well manicured landing strip. Every now and then, if it's completely, and I'm talking like baby's ass bald, then I start. Where is that pedophilia line? I don't want to wander into that.
That's very
thought of it like
interesting.
that.
I never thought about that. You're a smart dude. Holy shit.
So if the landing strip is clean enough for the plane to go in smoothly, you're cool with that.
If the landing strip has, like I said, well manicured,
Yeah,
you can see both sides. It's not
Like blinking lights on both sides of that
I
landing?
just I don't want, I don't want the shrubbery going off into unwanted areas on that as well.
Gotcha. Oh, look what you found. Ooh.
I got to be honest though. Hey, the older I get though, I don't think I can be as
I found it!
Have you ever gone down there and she slowly brings down the underwear, then
What is
retro?
Absolutely.
You're like, whoa.
Wow,
Yeah, I'm
like
46,
it
of
pops
course.
out?
Do you like walk out or what do you do?
No, I muster through. I muster up the courage to get
He's
through.
a trooper. He's a trooper. Gotta give him an A.
Not all heroes wear capes.
Yeah,
There you
I
go.
hear you. Listen, I couldn't
Super
say.
Bush.
I couldn't say it. Well, if you have the same beliefs as Maven does, Manscaped could help you.
Absolutely.
The weed whacker.
Absolutely.
What are you thinking?
I'm thinking that I may have to, go in a room, close the door, and hang out with the weed whacker for a little while.
Yeah, I think you're a retro guy, aren't you?
I like 70s adult films, if that's what you're getting at.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah,
But
only
with that,
Ron
we're going to take
Jeremy,
a quick
Batman.
commercial break, and we'll be
Anyway.
back with this wrestling icon, Maven.
We will see you in a drop kick second.
Drop kick. All right, welcome back to Long Island's #1 pro wrestling
And the world.
broadcast.
And the world's.
And the world.
Thank you. Jeez.
Welcoming the great Barry Horowitz.
What is up, Mr. H?
Wait a minute, I'm not done.
Oh, okay. Hold on.
Barry, first I have to apologize. Pharaoh hasn't written a script in a
did
long
not-
time.
He's
and
lying.
I'm
Lying.
very.
Let me justify this whole conversation if you don't
Yes.
mind.
Yes.
Because I was listening to everything in the last 10 minutes and I have got my head, I'm ready for this interview. I've been ready for it for 3 years and 23 hours and counting. So I'm all prepped up, but now I'm even more so prepped. First of all, we need to start with Neil Diamond singing The Ultimate. I love that guy. He's an MOT. He's a great singer. I mean, just phenomenal. I mean, I just love Neil Diamond. So I had to get that out of the way right away. As far as the writing, Jimmy Farrow did not do that. I really hate putting this guy's name over, but that Mark Vince Russo probably messed up the whole thing.
Well,
so
you know,
that's why.
The doctor was just trying to get ahead. I mean,
Think about the writing of what he did, and he did it for you. And about top tier, you are top tier. And I'm not working you. You are top tier. The other so-called superstars, oh, they're good. But who takes care of Mr. Technical Barry Horowitz? Oh, Monte the Pharaoh. That's who. That's why I give him a double pat on the back.
Oh, wow.
Man, nothing like that.
Wow.
So,
And the bottom line is, if you want to go there, there's only two kinds of people in this world: Jewish people and people that wish they were Jewish.
Oi! Yes!
Oi!
Yeah! I got an oi! What do you think of that?
I got an oi. I got a Seinfeld.
I'm changing my name.
To Monty Shevitz?
No, Montowitz.
Montowitz?
Mike Montowitz.
Mike Montowitz. All right. What do you think, Barry? Has that got a good sound to it? The Montowitz?
I don't know. I'm still in my mind retro Bush.
It pops out?
Sorry. Sorry. I'm all perplexed here.
Yeah, Manscaped really liked it too. Yeah.
This
yeah.
is not
right.
As Brian Blair would say, too many chair shots, Barry.
Barry, before we start, tell me a little bit about your family, your wife, your son. You know, it's great to know about the people behind the man.
Yeah, you know, I'm glad you asked that, Monty. I'm just not too many interviewers ask about the family, and I've been happily married for 38 years. My wife is beautiful. She's hot. Met her on St. Pete Beach, where I'm from. Didn't know I was a wrestler. All she knew was I was Jack Hart for 6 months. So kind of irked her pretty good until I decided that I love her. I got to tell her that I'm Barry Horowitz, Mr. Technical. And so got a great son, 29 years old. He takes care of all my cameos, takes care of all my emails and wrestling business, along with the man, the king of credit, Richie Sorrentino, my business partner with Good Times Guaranteed .com live wrestling auction every Wednesday. And by the way, getting right there, just jump off real quick. I'm trying to get my stuff in, but you could tell a guy from Long Island, but you can't tell him much.
There you go. Barry, before we get going, Isban out there wants you to stand up. Can you represent the shirt that you're wearing right now? It looks like it's the great Mike Mantor.
Man.
Oh, yeah. I mean, I got to say, I wore this shirt for, well, no, I actually wore this shirt for one reason, and that's in memorial to Mike. I met him in WWF, and I have a quick story. I just saw him for the first time in over 20 years. We were signing together, and it was in Jacksonville, Florida, last June. It was good seeing him. Great guy. And I wrestled him, and I think the building is in the Catskills where they hold professional boxing to this day. I think it's called Foxwood. Correct me if I'm wrong. The venue. It's old school. I think they still run there boxing shows on ESPN. And I wrestled him there. And I told him, I prepped him about a knee lift. And normally when I grab a knee lift, how I was taught by the great Malenko and Jake Roberts, Jake the Snake, you know, if I'm standing there, I will move your chin. I don't want to bash your face in shoot style. But if you're coming off the ropes quickly, and Terry Gordy always taught me, all you got to do is just turn that face. Okay? So I told Mike this numerous times. And I don't like to stutter step in the ring. And I'm shooting him in, call backdrop, and I said, watch the knee lift. Now, I am coming like a train derailed, like 100 miles an hour. He's full-blown bent over, and I hit him so hard because he didn't turn his face. He actually did one of those cartoon roll over, feet go behind him, and land on the middle ropes. And then he's got that loopy look like Woody Woodpecker. And I said, are you all right? I felt so bad. He was out of it a little bit. And, of course, I talked to him later on. And I said, when I knew he was going to be there and we're signing together, I said, that's the first thing. I'll say hello to him, shake his hand, and remind him of that situation. But it backfired on me. As soon as I should, hey, Mike, how you doing? He goes, how about that knee lift?
Right
and I said, oh, my God. I said I was thinking the same thing. And I told him how much I liked his shirt. And he gave me a shirt. And I gave him one of my pictures and I think one of my lapel pins. And, yeah. And then when I found out, I think this only happened a few months ago, if I'm not mistaken.
Yes.
His passing.
I
was flabbergasted. I mean, I said, "Oh my God, I just saw this guy." It was just like an eerie deja vu feeling. But anytime I like the guy, I thought his gimmick was cool. Yeah, it's gone too soon. And he was younger than me, and I just I don't know. I felt bad about the whole situation.
Yeah,
and I really don't know what actually happened. I don't know if it was. I think he had some issues, health issues, because when I was sitting talking with him, I'm pretty sure he mentioned things. He didn't elaborate on the subject, and I didn't push for it either. So.
Yeah, it was very sad. He had a show on our channel, and he had even come down here. Literally days before he passed away, suddenly he had done a show with us right here in the studio. So, and he was such a good soul. Awful.
I don't know his family, but I send my condolences, my family, to his friends, everybody that knows him. I don't have one bad word to say about him, and in my book, that's pretty good.
Yeah,
in the wrestling business,
he was one of the good ones. He really was.
He was. He was
really
one of the good ones. That's well said, well put.
Oh, now, Barry, batten down the hatches. We're going to play you a video. There's a rapper. Now, I don't even know anything about this. I'm looking at this for the first time. We are going to play a video from a rapper named Action Bronson that did a rap called Barry Horowitz. Let's get your take on this after we roll the footage.
Okay.
Oh. Well, first of all, he's singing Silent Night, so let's readjust.
It's Barry Horowitz rap. I pat myself on the back. Don't fake the funk on it.
What the?
We can't play the whole video, dude. We'll get
he'll get
copyrighted.
mad. Yeah, he'll get mad.
Yeah. We need more Barry Horowitz time and less Action Bronson time. That wannabe.
Oh, okay. So this irks
yeah.
you?
I'll play hardball with you because any other interview, I kayfabe it. I don't want to put nobody over, but you came out with it bluntly, and I could tell you the whole darn thing.
Let's go.
Hit it.
Okay. Basically, they were searching for me. Allegedly, some guy that works in a radio station in New York City, allegedly. I don't know that for positively. Hey,
Okay.
Barry, blah, 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 Action Bronson, he's got a song about you. It's got a video. He would love to, I think they wanted me to come out. Okay. The show was in, I think it was in Miami. It wasn't that far from where I live. Okay. So anyway, they wanted me to just come out, which was a great idea. Maybe put him in a headlock or something or this nature. He's a big fan of mine, which, first of all, there was no permission asked. There was no nothing. And they spot picked with me. They think I'm an under tier worker or I'm not a superstar or this or that. Believe me, and I could bank on this one. If I was under contract with Vince, even in a subdue contract, or if I was on a contract, let's just say of John Cena's situation, Vince's lawyers and Vince would own that whole company. As far as I know, it was the company out of Detroit, owned by Slim Shady, and I like Eminem. I'm pretty sure, allegedly, they would have owned it overnight. I mean, he's got money, but Vince is a billionaire.
Right.
Okay, so it wasn't that case. So basically, he says to me, yeah, come on down here. Now, this is like, let's just say 3 or 4 hour drive. Okay, this is great. Come out there. And I said, what is the financial gain in this situation? And the guy goes, we got hot dogs and popcorn. I thought this was a rib. And some T-shirts. Bring your family. Now, am I allowed to cuss on your show or not?
Oh, sure. You broke the record last time you were on. What are you talking about? Hit it.
Okay, I didn't know the fucking rules, but now I know the fucking
now we're talking. As you were effing saying.
So this friggin' Mark is gonna tempt me with cheap hot dogs and a 2-cent T-shirt. And I said, who the frig are you talking to? I told him that. I said, let me ask you something. I'm not in the same class as Steven Tyler. I'm not in the same class as any so-called country music singer, pop singer, MMA fighter. I said, I'm not that, but would you talk to them that way and offer them hot dogs and a T-shirt?
Ugh.
I said, no, you wouldn't. I said, I'll tell you what. When you come up with a payday, and really I'm really disrespected to the max. I said, I don't play that. I'm not getting bullied. Not this point in my career. I said, find somebody else. Never seeked me out, nothing. And it's their loss. Because let me tell you something. If I came out there during that song, am I putting myself over physically and verbally? Yes, I am. It's not brag. It's fact. If I came out in Miami, you know how many times I've wrestled there? I was the Florida heavyweight champion for Florida Championship Wrestling, Gordon Soley, Eddie Graham, the list goes on, and put him in a headlock or something. They would have popped for at least 20 minutes.
Yep.
His loss, not mine. I got more shower time than he's got lifetime. So as far as exposure, I got a ton of exposure. He needs it more than me. Their loss, I got disrespected, and that's it. I don't put over his name. I don't care. It was a pretty cool idea, but you should have asked permission. Again, if it was about, let's just say if it was about Roddy Piper, Hulk Hogan, or Paul Orndorff,
sure,
would you have went about it the same way?
Hells no.
It's called pecking order and spot picking, and I despise it. I'm not mad. It's just wrong.
I'm mad.
It's totally disrespectful.
It is. It is.
And
he's not mad.
And when I look at that, when I see that, I go, well, you got a bunch of unsmart marks. That's what you got, and AKA jabronis.
So
and
fill
you
me
wonder
in. How is
why.
this? How is this video even out then? Didn't you do something like go to their house and hey?
No, they got clips, which
Okay.
they had clips from WWF. If you've not mistaken, that logo is on there.
Right.
I don't know how they even got away with
Yeah,
that.
that's what I'm very curious as to
I
how this
don't
thing is
know.
even out.
I don't know, but let's put it this way: the bottom line, it was handled wrong.
Oh, agreed.
Right?
That's for sure.
All.
Yeah.
I
Barry-
can't see you guys when you bring me in or we're doing this interview doing flim flam stuff, jabroni stuff. It's flim flam, and this is the difference between professional wrestling and being on YouTube and paid per views than being a carny or a backwood wrestler or backwoods,
Right.
backyard, whatever you want to call it. There's a big difference.
There is.
There's good and there's great.
Yep.
Yeah.
It's the way you perceive it and personify it.
Agreed.
Barry, you've been a pretty busy man as of late, right? You made an appearance on AEW. You made an appearance on Impact.
Yeah.
How was it like being back in front of the fans in that capacity?
It was great. It was appreciated. It was respectful. You know what perplexes me the most is, and nothing against Impact or New Jersey Pro, which I went 30 minutes against Joey Janela in Rahway, New Jersey in
Nice.
a hardcore match.
Nice.
Never had one in my life. Haven't been in a ring in over 10 years, and I pulled it off. I don't know how I did it, except for the toaster that hit me in the back and opened me up. And you got to understand, that day started at 3:30 in the morning, flight delay, got there. There was a magazine from Canada that had to do a live shoot interview with me. That went on for an hour. There was no food, even though I carry protein bars, my water and whatnot. Then you're standing around. And I'll never forget standing around because a lot of times, well, every time you do TV for any group, you're stand around. I mean, you got to be there at noon or 1. I may not go in the ring till 8 o'clock that night.
Mm-hmm.
So you got to stay mobile. You got to move. You got to, your joints, everything locks up. So, but what I don't get is these companies, let's just say they have a little bit less money. They could think of this, but the billion-dollar companies can't find a place for me, not in the ring, but mentoring, teaching, which I love. And then I'm seeing some of the people, I won't mention names, that are teaching and coaching. Guess what? I need to coach them, and they can't lace my boots. Not all of them, but I'm just calling it like it is. Is this jealousy or nothing? This is called legitimate bitching. There's a difference.
Right.
If I never trained, if I never went nowhere in this business, if I haven't been in this business since 81, worked for Vince Sr., if I haven't been all over the world, worked for great promoters like Jerry Jarrett and Otto Wantz, Vince McMahon, and the list goes on and on. Were they all good? No, but that's just the way it works. I've had my favorites, but I could understand if I didn't do that and I failed drug tests and I didn't look good, didn't have good matches. Then you could just say, Barry, you're whining, you're bitching, you're late, you're known for it. We know who does this in this business. I'm not going to point them out or knock them because some of these guys I really like, they just can't get their act together. So that's I really don't get it. But I'm staying busy. I mean, Pro Wrestling Tees has been good to me. Cameo, phenomenal. And then my meet and greets and my seminars. And then occasionally, if the price is right, I do get in the ring, and I will be wrestling in some tags this year. And I was just inducted actually a week ago into the New England Pro Wrestling Hall of Fame.
Awesome.
That's funny. They can induct me, but the so-called big ones, they'd rather induct, let's see, Chris Rock, the guy with the hair club.
Drew Carey.
Drew Carey. Let me get this one right. Sunny, like in Sunny Day.
It's pretty cloudy
that's
nowadays
intriguing.
in that sunny day, but yeah.
That's intriguing that you could do that. Once again, just a slap in the face and being disrespectful. I don't sell it. I'm not putting it over. I never have in this business. It gets you nowhere.
It's legitimate
What for?
bitching, my friend. That's legitimate bitching, for sure.
Yeah, exactly.
It is.
So that's all. I mean, you guys brought it up.
Yeah.
I wasn't going to talk about any of that, but I'm going to also speak up and defend myself and stuff.
Yeah.
That's how I look at it. And why, as far as the teaching and my personality and my lifestyle, I was trained by the fucking best in the world.
Oh, yeah.
The great Malenkos. We'll put an S there.
Mm-hmm.
Father, son, and the ultimate Karl Gotch and Karl von Stronheim.
Wow. Oh, God.
Tell me if you can get better than that.
No.
Amazing.
You cannot.
And
that's
guess what?
legit,
Why you got Barry on a roll and he's getting all heated and flustered, in my eyes, there's a good amount of technical pro wrestlers. I say I'm in the top 50.
Agreed. Now, Barry, I got to ask you, though. You're 10 years off from the ring, and you're doing a hardcore match with a guy, if I'm not mistaken, Janela threw himself off a roof into a dumpster. Was it just the cash offer that made you do this, or a temporary moment of insanity?
No, I talked to the promoter, Kevin McDonald,
Okay.
Jersey Pro, Wrestle Pro, New Jersey, and he thought, and I said, he's talking to me, and I'm thinking about it, and I'm going, wait a minute. I'm seeing guys that look 90 years old, go in the ring, don't even take a bump, throw a weak punch, they're getting a payday. I said, why can't I have a piece of that pie?
Right.
Even though probably the only thing really bad is my knee. I'm having a couple things done, actually. I have some minor injuries, but my biggest ones is probably my knee. I'm getting stem cell done, and now I'm getting eye surgery done, which is not a big deal. I'm glad because my vision will be better. And this is from a couple of concussions, and believe it or not, pokes to the eyes have actually ruined my lens cover of my retina and cornea. So
I've had operations on both eyes, Barry. You'll be fine.
So oh yeah, it's nothing. Yeah. I went through everything with the doctor and whatnot, but am I going to wrestle like I did Owen Hart 20 years ago, or Brad Armstrong, or Tommy Wildfire Rich, or Tom Zink, or Brian Pillman? Any of these? No. But guess what? The people don't care about that. You know what they care about? If I walk to that ring with a different outfit, which I want to do everything different, and pat myself on the back, and at least do a couple of cute things, they're happy. And if you look decent, I mean the body, the face, the hair. Right. By the way, these headsets are messing up my Jewish, beautiful curly hair. I'm not used to wearing headsets, but for you guys, I do anything.
You know, on the subject of AEW, if I can, Barry.
I've heard my mother say that word.
I grew up hearing it constantly. I was a menace, you know. Do you think AEW has any shot against the mighty Vince McMahon and WWE? And I want to get your thoughts on MJF being compared to Roddy Piper.
Oh, wow. I didn't know that.
Happens often with him.
Do they have a chance? First of all, it's good to have competition. I love their production. They have more wrestlers. They change up the card. It's hard to say. As far as MJF goes, I like his style. I like he represents MOT, of course. I think he wrote my monologue or speech for that thing that I did last year in AEW. And as far as that, I don't know how to put it, that glamour look, like when you watch the Oscars or you watch the Super Bowl,
right,
or you watch the CMA Awards, you know shit's going down. This is the ultimate. And if you watch their pay-per-view, WWE, and you watch the Raw and you watch the SmackDown, that's the feeling I get.
You're right.
It's before, okay, this is a wrestling, it's a TV show. Now they're using these on talk shows for punchlines. Hey, what are you going to body slam me like The Rock? Or in the NFL, I heard Tony Romo talking to Jim Nance once on a football game, and they always use them. And it's just, I don't know, apples and oranges still. The production, just everything.
Yes.
They go to their commercials, everything. Like I said, it used to be a wrestling show. They are right up there with anybody. The Oscars,
Yes.
the Grammys, the CMAs, the Super Bowl.
Their
They're in
promo
the same
packages,
frick-
their promo
the
packages
promo
are
packages,
unbelievable.
because they've got the same people producing and working. It's not just, I believe in wrestlers giving finishes and storylines. I'm not a big fan of the Hollywood deal. I mean, if it changes things around, but some of these guys, they don't know who I am, or they don't know who a wrestler is. So they only know how to write, a finish for, I don't know, a Jack Nicholson movie, or a Michael Myers movie, something of that nature. Wrestling's a different animal, but we'll see how that plays out. But again, when you see these guys, when you see their show and their production, that's the key word. I mean everything. The mic. By the way, have you ever seen almost everybody getting pissed off and dropping the mic? Back 20 years ago, if I dropped the mic, you got in big trouble. 'Cause
Yeah,
they
you
were
broke it.
expensive. Yeah,
You got to pay for it.
Now,
Yeah.
you could break those mics every night. You could tear apart that set every night.
Yep.
But they're drawing money. And look at the houses at Raws and Smack. I mean, it's phenomenal. I
is.
wish I was a part of it. I wish. I mean, I don't have to be a worker. I just wish to add some flavor to the stew, if you will, with something. And I think I have the know-how. I think I have the capability, the mechanics. It's like I'm a carpenter with a full tool chest of tools, and I'm not allowed to build this house that's in front of me, the frame that's in front of me.
Barry, why do you
I'm
think
not
it
allowed
is?
to build it.
Why do you think it is that they don't reach out to you? Are you just too uncompromisingly truthful or something for them? What's the deal, do you think?
I heard this from a friend of a friend. They sent me the audio. I guess maybe last year, Jim Cornette. Somebody said, "What's up with Barry Horowitz?" This is what he said. You could look it up. He basically said, in a nutshell, I can't, not verbatim, but he said, he's the total deal. He says, he works out, he works hard, he's never failed a drug test, he's never late, and there's other guys like me too.
Sure.
I think my gimmick and my style was unique over other people. And never been, caused of TRTs or in performance-enhancing drugs. Nothing like that. Maybe I'm too nice, too good. I don't know. And I hate to say this, but it's disrespectful but I would say it anyway. Do I need a tryout? You want to try me out? Because
Man.
I know someone. And I'm going to tell you what, I thought it changed. It's still a big clique. And they hire their friends, and they fire their friends, and they bring them in. This is how I would do it, like a football team. How many times you watch football, and let's say the new season, hey, who's the new offensive coordinator for the Patriots or the Buccaneers? I never heard of this guy. Yeah, well, they show his rank. Well, he was the quarterback's coach for the Cowboys. He graduated from FSU. He was the assistant coach there. They go by ability.
Right.
Not who you know, who you
Right.
blow, any of that crap. It's ability. And that's why I'm probably putting top 3 or number 1, my favorite promoter, Otto Wanz from Austria. This man called me every year or two. Barry, could you come to Austria? I said, Otto, I would love to. I've heard all about you. I can't. I'm under contract. Until about the 3rd or 4th year. And then I said yes. This man, all he cared about, I guess he found out my MO, my wrestling ability, how I look, this and that, my accountability, my show up, not being late, not failing drug tests through the grapevine. It's easy to find. And puts me, first of all, there were rounds there, which was really weird. And takes me in his own car to press conferences, takes me to the airport, and puts me in the main event against Franz Schumann, which is very comparable to Bret Hart. His look, his outfits, his style. He had an accent and puts me over. Let me tell you something.
Wow.
You couldn't hear nothing. And I beat him with the octopus, Anoki's finish, tap him out. There was no riot. There was no nothing. It was like being in the Tokyo Dome when, you know how they just clap?
Yes.
They don't do like the Americans
Yes.
do. I heard nothing. They were completely stunned. And what got it over? My ability. This guy could wrestle. He's just not chopping meat, clothesline, poking the eyes, tell the people, get lost, stuff like that. I was using ring psychology. I was the ultimate heel against the ultimate babyface. And that's why they didn't say nothing. That's why they believed it. That's why they swallowed it, because they said, I mean, this is the closest thing to a shoot. That's why. And when you're that type of worker, you could pull that off. And what does that mean? You want to be a good worker or a great worker? I want to be a great worker.
And you were.
Well, speaking of that, Barry, we're talking about AEW and we brought up MJF. Do you think MJF is a good enough worker that he could work for the WWF or WWE?
Yeah, I'm just going by their MO, the size. He looks good. He's in shape. I have no problem with that, but they do. They like monsters. Although there's not too many, not a ton of monsters in NXT.
True. This is true.
A prime example is Cody. I think Cody and I are about, I don't know, I've never met Cody. I only know his dad, and I know Dustin. He looks like he trains hard. He's natural. I don't know. We may be the same body weight. I'm about 220 to 225, 6 foot. But Cody's promos, top 5.
Oh,
They are up there with The Rock, Ric Flair. They are, here's the cool part. They don't sound contrived. They sound intelligent and articulate.
They do.
And shoot, I love the way he presents himself, the suits, his look, his work. I mean, he's kind of the total package for real. And let me tell you something. I got to elaborate on this. And I'm not trying to get a job or see, I'm a different kind of wrestler or one of the boys, whatever you want to call it. I put over people that counts. If they're beneath me, above me, whatever. And then some people I don't mention because I friggin' despise them and I'm not going to say nothing. Okay, but I'm going to call it like it is. Cody did this thing, I guess a couple of years ago in a cage. First of all, he climbed that cage and it was high. Like he was climbing the top rope of the squared circle. I mean, he was up there lightning. And he's doing a reverse moonsault, which you've seen it done by thousands of people, Kurt Angle and whatnot, all the Japanese and Lucha Libre. That's a long way down, number 1. No pausing. And his opponent was, I'm trying to think, that guy that, MJF, he was his bodyguard.
Wardlow.
Thank you. Because
You're
I had
welcome.
when I went to AEW, I did a heel promo against Wardlow. One was scripted and one was ad-libbed. Let me tell you something. You're laying there. I've laid there from splashes from One Man Gang, Bam Bam Bigelow, and the most best Jimmy Snuka. It's scary.
Yeah.
It's scary.
Gotta be.
But Cody is coming from a height that is ungodly, climbs it like in 2 seconds, cuts a backwards moonsault, and lands it perfect. Now, he's got to be a little bit nervous going down. I mean, you miss, you could die.
Yeah.
And so could Wardlow. That was, in my eyes, one of the best things I've seen in years.
Barry,
I'm sure there's others in indie shows, in Japan shows, in Mexican shows, but I've never seen anything like that. It was spot on friggin' perfect in my eyes.
It was a thing of beauty. Barry, is Cody the ultimate feel-good story? I mean, how did you feel seeing him leave Vince after that Stardust gimmick that obviously, and I thought he killed it as Stardust. I really thought he gave it his all, and that's a true credit to him as a professional. But to go away from Vince and to reinvent himself, to become the head of the board basically for AEW, and then to come back and main event WrestleMania with Roman Reigns. Is he the ultimate feel-good story in perseverance?
Definitely, in my eyes, this is my personal opinion, he's the next best thing. He's your next Hogan of the era for the next 5 years. I'd have the world title on him. He's a flawless babyface.
So he will win the world title, right?
You saying that.
That's
Roman Reigns right now.
Man. Roman Reigns.
Would you say Roman Reigns is comparable to Hulk Hogan
or The Rock
back in the day, or even
Cold?
Stone Cold or The Rock?
Or is that not yet, or different era?
Maybe not yet. I don't. Roman has improved. I don't know him either, but I'm a huge fan. I know Alpha and Sika. I know Ricky. I know all the Samoans, Barbarian, everybody, Snuka. These gentlemen are supreme athletes in wrestling, in training, in professional wrestling. I have the utmost respect because they respect me and they take care of me in the ring. I mean, back in the day, 81, I was going to the towns with Afa, nervous wreck. You know, I'm 21 years old and I'm driving a veteran around and just being nervous about certain things I won't mention. But Roman is a better heel than babyface. His look, his promos, this bloodline deal is the hottest thing going. I just like everything about it. And I could be wrong with this statement. It's allegedly. I really think Vince Sr. and Jr. always loved to have Samoan wrestlers on the card.
Oh, yeah.
Always.
Oh, yeah.
I'm talking, you name it. You name it that's been a good Samoan wrestler. He's been there.
Yep.
And he's always starting with Afa and Sika.
Yep.
Which I love those guys.
We go back to the days of Bob Backlund, where Bob Backlund used to defend the title at Madison Square Garden against Afa, Sika. I mean, these guys weren't just tag team legends. They could main event with Bob at the Garden.
Yeah, and they don't, this is my opinion, I don't think they, like Andre the Giant, they don't like goofballs. They like guys that don't cause trouble and have a good time, but don't, you know what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
Just
the pros.
blow their career on stupidity. And other sports people do this too. They're not thinking. Foot and mouth disease and just not thinking. Too much too soon is a big problem. Too much too soon. Remember that.
Mm-hmm.
And creates the Ed. So, Roman, his look, his solidness, as far as his moves and so forth, I like everything about it. His promos, his attire, he keeps everything spot on. I like it. I like it a lot, and obviously it's working because this run has been going on for a long time.
Years at this point, years. And I think his storytelling in the ring, I think, is underrated. He tells a great story.
Without a doubt. Without a doubt. This is a guy that was in the same group as Moxley and
Rollins.
Seth Rollins.
The Shield.
These guys were just kind of a gimmick little thing that WCWs did it too, where they put the helmets on the nightsticks. Just kind of a little gimmick that turned into he's the world champion.
It's great.
It's incredible how all three of them have and I think it was there anyway, maybe in the wrong booking or the wrong push. You know how many guys have been ixnayed from the WWF, WWE, whatever you want to call it, that went on to bigger and better? Bottom line is you shouldn't have got rid of them, or you should have packaged them properly. Mm-hmm. And you know how to repackage, because I've seen people get repackaged and repackaged.
Right.
It's not going to hurt as long as your work is solid and you do things right.
Right.
Agreed.
Barry, just Tuesday was the finale at Dark Side of the Ring, The World According to Marty Jannetty. How was your relationship with Marty Jannetty?
Okay. Very,
Sure,
very
Barry.
good. Very good. Here's the deal with Marty. We are total opposites, and he knew it. I never drove with Marty. I've wrestled him in tags. I've wrestled him in singles. Marty back in the day was in better shape. His wrestling ability was technical. It was fast. Um, his promos were decent. His work was solid. I've never, if he ribbed, it was politely. It's just, I call it just joking. It wasn't ribs like Mr. Fuji or the Bulldogs, which was just idiotic in my eyes. Grow up, guys. Come on now. But he came up to me, and I'm trying to remember when this was. Let's just say, argument's sake, 2 or 3 years ago at a meet and greet. Now, I don't know if he was drinking or not, maybe just a little bit. I don't know, but he was more coherent. And he came right up to me really close, and he says, Barry, and I've never had this said to me, not in this nature. He says, I just want to thank you for the matches that we had, that how you made me look and how you took over when I was completely obliviated in my mind. Now, I'm straight, and I know when somebody's drunk or high or on something or something, but sometimes I don't, because that's not what I'm thinking about. I'm thinking about my match. I'm thinking about getting the match over, the referee Earl Hebner or Joey Morella. I'm thinking about the fans hating me as a heel and painting a story and a picture on this tapestry that's supposed to be flawless. And so I'm not thinking of that. And he says, do you know how many times this has happened? And I said, no, Marty, I don't know. He says, well, I want to thank you. And I said, Marty, I loved working with you. You're my style. I'll work with anybody. But if I have a forte, oh my God. Owen Hart, Skip, of course, Tim Horner, all the Armstrongs, Tom Zink, Brian Pillman. There's a ton more. Rick Martel, Tony Gurria. That's my style. Of course, all the Harts. I adore the Hart family. From Stu to Stu Jr. to, of course, Brett, Owen, the whole family. Total respect and props. And that's what I liked. That was my style. So, and Marty was. And I didn't know what else. I said, no problem, Marty. I said, I enjoyed it. I loved working with you. I said, it was a night off. And that was it. I've spoken to him on the phone and maybe seen him at a breakfast table here and there. I haven't seen him in a couple of years. I think the last time I saw him was at a meet and greet in Florida. And it's a shame what's going on in his life, because it's easier said than done. It's easy. You'd have to pay me or really threaten my life to act that way. I don't do that.
Right.
That's just not me. I didn't do it when I was 19. I didn't do it when I was 16. I didn't do it when I amateur wrestled. And I didn't even know Marty was an amateur wrestler. I never brought it up to him. He never brought it up to me. I never told any of the guys my accolades or where I went to school. None of that. I wasn't there for that. I was just there to fulfill my dream. I wasn't there to brag and tell them about my pedigree or granted now, it wasn't the pedigree of the Steiners or Brock Lesnar or Kurt Angle, but I would say on the same ranks of Marty or Cody. I was a state champion and a good high school wrestler. I got my ass kicked at FSU. It was just, it was brutal, but I had a chance to turn pro, and I think I made the right decision. It was either that or go into the service, the Marine Corps, because I really thought my mindset was what they wanted.
It's the age-old debate, but I want to get your opinion. Who was the better worker, Marty Jannetty or Shawn Michaels? To you.
Oh, wow. Okay. Oh. They both look good in their prime.
Oh, yeah.
The promos were pretty cool. Shawn's got better as he turned heel, which was kind of cool. The technical wrestling, I don't know if Marty may be working long and maybe a little bit more technical savvy, but Shawn Sean did it too. They both did the good super kick. Of course, arm drags, drop kicks, high spots. That's a hard one to really say.
Is it a toss-up? Because that's a huge tip of the cap to Marty, because I'm sure most fans, just by reflex, would go, oh, it's Sean. It's got to be Sean.
Well, yeah, of course, because the TV, his looks and whatnot,
Right.
his run as a single world championship. I mean, come on, he's did everything.
He's Mr.
And,
WrestleMania.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Really good match with Flair's retirement match.
Oh, yeah.
I really don't know. I would have to watch a bunch of stuff and be like this, but they're both really good.
Yeah,
I mean,
the fact that you're struggling over it, I think, says it all.
It makes you
Well,
answer
here's the deal. Sean got the better push,
Right.
and I'm sorry, I love Marty, but he's kind of a screw up.
Well, I
And I've
got you.
told him that. I
Yeah.
said, Marty, I said, I've got nothing against you. I said, but yeah, I'm not going to preach to this guy and tell him to go to rehab and do this and do. These guys they're set in their ways at that age.
Yeah.
I think he respected me as an athlete and whatnot and stuff, but I just don't. Maybe the wrong road, the wrong choices in life. But as far as if I had a list and it was, which I do have lists, by the way, I'm known for it, A, B, and C. We can go there some other time. You don't want to be on that A list. But I don't even consider Marty on the C list, which is, I consider the source. He's just, he's never bothered me, never hurt me in the ring. His priorities and scruples and accountability are out of order, and I don't think he doesn't care. I don't know if it's from childhood upbringing. I don't know any of that. Some of that stuff, I did watch that, and I'm not a big fan of that show. The only thing I like about the show is Chris Jericho. He's always treated me good. I respect his ability. If I'm not mistaken, he was trained by the Hearts. Brought up in Canada, which there's a lot of great wrestlers. I mean, when it comes to Canada, I mean, Shania Twain, Tim Hortons Donuts, the hockey team, and the Hart family.
Right.
That's how
Right.
I look at it.
Yeah.
And I love wrestling there. I'm very pro Canada because they appreciate good, and I emphasize
Good.
wrestling. And by
Right.
the way, I am a professional wrestler.
Absolutely, an icon.
Yes, sir.
Barry, I want to bring you back to Florida when you wrestled as Jack Hart and you worked for the Mike Graham, I think basically the Graham family.
More legends. Yep.
Oh,
I want you to share your thoughts on Mike Graham and his untimely demise.
wow. First of all, I idolized Mike Graham growing up, and Jack Briscoe, Bob Orton Jr., Don Morocco. Not in that order, and of course Eddie Graham, all greatly acclaimed workers and shooters. I have never seen a babyface that patient with a heel than Mike Graham. He put me over in his hometown at the University of Tampa for the Florida heavyweight title. And the only people that won that was maybe Brian Blair, Steve Kern, and Barry Horowitz, and they lived there. The rest of the people really didn't come from there. Jack Briscoe won the Florida title, then became the NWA World Heavyweight Champion.
Mhm.
I mean, here I am. I'm watching this show, and my dreams are coming true, and I'm nobody. I'm nobody's son. I'm not a promoter's friend. I really think my hard work and doing what I'm told. I mean, it's and if you can't get it done that way, I give up because if you're doing the opposite, that's why you're not getting that push. Sometimes it's very chaotic and weird, and I'm sure it is in other walks of life as far as football, soccer, basketball, Hollywood. But Mike Graham, unbelievable patience in the ring, great worker. Just I couldn't get over it. Now I've been with patient guys in the ring. Brad Armstrong, Tommy Wildfire Rich. Let me get Pillman. These guys I'm mentioning, Tim Horner, trusted me, never said a word because they were taught old school. The heel leads this story, and they trusted me. I mean, when I mean not a word, I think I worked Tommy Rich in one match. I don't know if it was TV, WCW. I don't remember. He didn't say nothing. And I mean, not even hello. Nothing. Wasn't angry or nothing. Just trusted me. And I'm pretty sure Tom Zink was the same way. Brad Armstrong, Scott Armstrong, uh, Tim Horner maybe talked a little bit. There's nothing wrong with that. I don't mind that. I mean, but yes, and Eddie Graham he was good. The plus my feather in my cap was they liked all amateur wrestlers. It was pretty cool. So that kind of helped me and my accountability and working hard. But I loved it. I mean, that's what I grew up on. Gordon Soley, Dusty, everybody that's been anybody, Rocky Johnson, they all been through there.
Yep.
They've all been through championship wrestling to Florida, and to this day, it's still known. And I was a part of that, of the later part. Stretcher Jack Hart, Florida heavyweight champion. I mean, I'm proud of that. I mean, it's part of my upbringing, and then I get to be in my dream. That doesn't normally happen.
Oh no. Oh no. And it's great too.
And I never
Florida
took it for granted.
Yep. Yep. Florida Championship Wrestling, and back in the early days of our fandom, I used to run to that UHF channel and pray for good reception so I could see Gordon and the rest of those legends. It was the greatest.
Every Saturday night, 7 o'clock Eastern Time, WTOG, Channel 44. Championship Wrestling from Florida, 7 to 8. And Gordon saying so long from the Sunshine State.
Oh,
I mean, their angles, everything on there, bringing Ernie the Cat Ladd in there. I mean, Hogan
great.
was there. Like I said, Rocky Johnson. And back in the day, Bruiser Brody was, oh my God, I hate this. His real name, because he beat Rocky Johnson for the Florida title on TV in like a minute or two. I cannot believe I forgot his name. Oh, that bothers me.
You mean Frank?
What's that?
Frank Brody?
Frank the Hammer Goodish.
Thank
you very
Goodish.
much.
There you go. Right.
Frank the Hammer Goodish.
Wow.
So that's before he was Bruiser Brody. So
Correct.
And man, he obliviated Rocky Johnson. I'm going,
destroyed him.
Who in the hell is this? But that was the
this
booking.
monster?
That's the way they wanted it. I give props to anybody who does that. It's called business. I've said this many times. It's not like I don't give a crap about my career or where I'm at, but if you're fulfilling your dream and you go, well, I just don't want to get beat, I'll go somewhere else. Well, most of these guys quit and they get a regular job, or they don't look the part, the attire, they're not trying hard enough. They're not trying to define and refine their craft. And I've watched so many films and so much, I just always constantly, and some of these guys, they just, I care, but if you're going to tell them that you're going to get a bad reputation and you're going to work in Japan or whatever, or these indie groups. So not everybody could be a superstar. So if you're worried about the angular shooting or the win-loss record, you got a contract, you're doing well, you were not going to make, you're not going to do any better. And who knows how many times I've went to that gorilla position, sorry, your match has been canceled, this, that. Did I get angry? Did I put it over? No, I just got paid for putting boots on and baby oil and remembering my match, fulfilling my dream.
Yeah.
So,
Barry, speaking of bad reputations, the last time you were in, we discussed a lot of the Ultimate Warrior's deficiencies as a person and as a worker. Are you still feel exactly the same way about him? Is it softened maybe over the years? He's passed on, or is it's all the same still?
No, I don't like to talk about people that passed on. Some people did it to themselves. Sometimes it was an accident. So it could have been a car wreck. It could have been this or that. But I think some half is self-inflicted, or just they needed help or overdid it. I mean, no, I don't. I'm not going to. He's got a family and stuff, and if they see this and stuff, I just don't care for him. They don't know how he treated me or other people.
Right.
And you know what I like is when he was on top and the other guys he was main event and they were semi. So probably back in the day, they're not saying nothing. Maybe in the car or the hotel room or where other people can't hear. Ask them today on a podcast, the ones that'll tell it like it is. I think Brett would tell it like it is. I think a lot of people would tell it like it is, and most of them, as far as I know, are burying him
Yeah.
verbally.
Well,
Yeah.
speaking of someone else, you worked with Chris Candido, and we discussed
Yep.
Sonny earlier. What was Sonny like back while you were working back then? Were you embarrassed for Candido? What was that situation like?
A tad, just a tad. I just saw a young girl that was new in the wrestling business and a little immature. So when she said stupid things, because I was probably 5 years older, 6 years older, I didn't put it over. It was irrelevant to me. What I cared about it is my relationship with Skip, ultimate dance partner. Never, he was a mirror of me. Never a problem. Worked his ass off. Good technical wrestler.
Oh, yeah.
Trained his ass off in the gym. Funny. I've had fun with him. I've never had an ill word of anything with him. That SummerSlam match in Pittsburgh at the Igloo, aka the Pittsburgh Civic Arena, aka where they filmed Sudden Impact with Van Dam.
Yeah.
After that match, I did not take my trunks off or my boots for 1 hour. I was on a natural high from that match. I
That's
couldn't
awesome.
I couldn't stop talking about it to Skip. He couldn't stop talking about it to me. I didn't take off my stuff for an hour.
That's
I was
great.
I was ready to go back there again and pull another 20 minutes with him.
Nice.
That's
I know
having
you-
fun.
Yeah.
Well, that's what it's
That's
all
loving
about.
your craft. That's
I know
it's a beautiful thing.
I know you worked with
Yeah.
this gentleman before, Dutch Mantell.
Oh, Dutch. Yosemite Sam.
Here's my question. Here's my question
Yeah.
to you. Dutch Mantell Dutch Mantell knows everything about wrestling, but he
Yeah.
also knows everything about like
Building
building
rocket-
rocket
yeah.
ships, curing cancer,
Complicated
Like you ask
calculus.
Dutch Mantell something, he'll give you an answer.
Yeah, yeah.
Why is Dutch Mantell so respected in the pro wrestling industry when he didn't draw a dime
Ooh.
in his entire career? Explain that to me.
Tornations. Ooh.
Well, first of all, no matter what I think of Dutch, he thought of Jack the Heart losing gimmick. I got to give him props where props
Okay.
are due.
Okay.
Do I agree with everything he says? No. I do like him. I don't agree on certain things, business-wise. Now that I'm older, excuse me, and I can speak up. But as far as I know, I've never been around. Like, he was in different promotions, Memphis and TNA and stuff, and he was in charge of storylines and stuff. So some of them were pretty good, and you got to give props where it's. I got to give props to that, and I've heard more good than bad than like, oh, that was Dutch's stupid idea or something. I've never heard anything like that, but yeah, that's it as far as that goes.
Well,
yeah.
why do you think he doesn't shave that mustache?
Yeah.
I think he thinks it's cool. I think he don't own a razor, and I think
Right.
he's lazy.
Yeah. Yeah.
All right. So Barry, obviously
Doesn't own
we're
a
huge fans.
razor.
of yours.
And
Doesn't
he,
own a
and he
razor.
owes me trans since '96.
Well, here's another thing. He doesn't like us, so
and his back is hairy.
yeah.
Anyway,
Oh, holy George Steele, Batman.
all right, you got to help me with this one now. Barry, you got to help me with this one. You've been on a ton of shoot interviews, right? Everybody loves everything you got to say. You're incredible. There's one podcast out there, and you got to explain this to me.
You're not going to.
boy.
I want to understand the logistics behind it.
Oh,
It's the
dear.
kid from England, right?
Oh,
That kid James
dear.
from England.
James, I love James.
That's good.
Oh,
but I have a few
dear.
questions.
I really do.
What time in the morning do you have to shoot with him, like for that interview?
Okay. I've only did, when I got interviewed by him, it was in a studio, cool studio, in West Virginia, Appalachian Wrestling Association. I'm not sure.
Okay.
But
Okay.
Okay.
I was interviewed first for an hour or two, probably about 8 o'clock to 10 by Shane Douglas.
Okay.
And I like Shane. I like the way he conducts his business. I like
Yeah.
the way he talks,
Yeah.
how he articulates
We love
different
Shane.
things. He's been around. Um, James and I probably talked for 2 hours, and I'm going to say, seriously, from 10 o'clock at night, Eastern Time, PM, till midnight. Out of that 2 hours, he probably got 10 shows out of me. Because he
Wait a
added
minute,
and
Barry.
spliced.
Barry, I'm sorry. His mom let him
Yeah.
stay up till midnight?
Wait a minute.
No, Barry. No, Barry. Here's a real question. Seriously.
Yeah, I'm mean. I'm sorry.
You can see us on video. Were you able to see James on that video also?
Yes, I was. There was a prompter in front of me, and I saw him. It was about this big, smaller than my laptop, and I saw him. And he's a pro. I like the way his questions.
enough.
He said that.
Fair enough.
I believe him. He said that I was requested for about 2 years. He couldn't get in touch with me, and then probably out of sight, out of mind. And he had hundreds of questions, and he was honest. He says we only scraped the surface with some of the questions, and I was requested as an interview because he's had tremendous interviews. And he tells me, and I thought he was joking. He goes, after this plays, you're gonna get, and I forgot, you guys know better than me, an ungodly amount of likes or hints or hits, whatever you call it. He
Yeah.
says, I promise you, there'll be that much within days. And I will admit, I've did a lot of different shows and a lot of different things, and things have been mentioned, even Impact and whatnot. But the most have been mentioned at my table is, hey, I saw you on Wrestling Shoot Interviews, WSI.
Right.
I said, oh, wow, thanks. I mean, almost every show somebody comes up, hey, I saw you there. Hey, I saw you on YouTube.
But I
So,
got to ask you. I got to ask you what you saw. Was there any point while he was interviewing did his mom come in with meatloaf and try to give him some like meatloaf for dinner?
Yeah, was she
Or
dusting
was she,
the
like,
room?
dusting
Like the
while
action
you were doing
figures?
the interview?
Number one, that didn't happen. Number two, you stole that from the Wedding Crashers.
Did you? What do you mean, Mom Meatloaf? What the?
Hey, Mom!
Barry.
Meatloaf!
No, it's James Meatloaf.
Oh, my God.
Come on.
Barry.
No, James that's his house. He's married. He left his
Oh,
job.
wow.
He's been doing
Okay.
that a couple of years. And
Yeah.
I think he does. There's a lot of. I like whatchamacallits, if you don't mind me mentioning
No,
people.
not at all.
No.
I mean, I don't watch a bunch, but I like the way Kevin Nash conducts his
Oh, yeah.
with Sean.
Sean Oliver.
Sean Oliver.
Oh, yeah. Yep.
I like the way it's conducted.
Yep.
But here's the biggest thing. I listened to stories that I was near or in the same town
Mhm.
or in the same locker room. And they're pretty spot on. And there was one story that Kevin mentioned, and I was about to turn it off. I had some things to do until it sparked my attention. A great story about Bam Bam Bigelow. And I was in the territory. I was on the card. I was in the area, let's put it this way, at that time. And I knew 70% of the story. The other 30%, Kevin cleared. And I didn't know some of that because I wasn't there. And he was.
Right.
And, and I believe every drop of it. And in the wrestling business, when you hear things, if you hear it once, forget it. It was just but when you hear it 3 to 4 times in 5 years, where there's smoke, there's fire.
Agreed.
No, you're
Agreed.
right. All right, Barry, we're out of
telling you.
time.
We
We're going to
are?
hit you with something called the Pharaoh's final question. I don't know what he's going to ask you, but I want to say thank you again. You are an
thank
icon
you
in the
guys.
sport. You are magnificent, sir.
Thank you. And if you don't mind, real quick, I just want to shout out to all my fans, especially in Long Island. Oh my God, Nassau Coliseum, and of course Madison Square Garden, Albany, Jamestown. List goes on. But Cameo and my Facebook and Richie Sorrentino, and God, I don't want to forget anybody. Wrestle Pro New Jersey, and High Spots, and
How about
I'm just
Think Inc. Nick Christie's group. You want to say hello to them?
Who?
Nick Christie from Think Inc.
I don't know the jabron. No, don't know that. And the only thing I'm thinking about is other things than ink. But if I'm going to talk about people, you talk about Richie Sorrentino and Nick Massey,
Yes.
Yeah, there you go.
and Joe
Yes.
Bruin.
Yes.
Joe Bruin from New England Pro Wrestling. Hey, there's a pro. Seriously, that show. I don't know if you guys saw it on YouTube. The venue, the Crown Plaza, the accommodations, the everything about it. That Fan Fest was next level in my eyes. The Fan Fest of the summer. I mean, I've been some good ones, and I mean, Joe Bruin's the man, and I like working for him. He's a true professional. I mean, you look up professional, it says Joe Bruin. I mean,
How does
so
it feel after all these years? The fans still love you and admire you
That's
for the
gotta be
great work
Well-
you've done.
Yeah.
I'll tell you what, I'm glad you said that. Over the 20 years, when they didn't know any better, and they're reading the cheat sheets, thanks to the internet and that jabroni, whatever his
Meltzer?
name is. Yeah.
Yo,
Let's see.
that's a bad
he's
one,
laced
right?
up boots. He's been in the wrestling business. He's taken bumps.
Ugh.
I love these guys who do that.
Meltzer.
Really? Then
Yeah.
I should go up to Tom Brady and say, I could throw a spiral.
Sure. Why not?
You know what would happen? I get slapped
You probably
Literally.
would. You probably
by
would.
him or somebody.
Yeah.
I mean, that's like going up to Jody Malenko and saying, I could be a shooter too.
Ugh.
By the time you got shooter out, he'd have you locked up in a crooked head scissor, a la
Yep.
Carl Gotch. Excuse
Yeah.
me, getting all
Yep.
worked up there. But
Agreed.
anyway, where were we? Jesus.
We're on the Pharaoh's
me in a-
final question, Mr. H.
You got me in a turmoil. I just wanted to thank all those people that have been good to me, seriously, and that have did for me and my fans. But getting back, the fans didn't know anything because of what I told you about the cheat sheets and whatnot. Now you've got the smart marks, and they come up to me at my table, and they're not BSing me. There's no reason to, okay? And they say what's on their mind, and they actually, all of them, they finally got it. They got a clue about this business. Not to the extent of me or somebody of Flair's nature or of Bret Hart or any of these veterans, but they got a clue. If that makes any kind of sense to you. It makes sense
No.
to me.
Yeah, it does.
It's
All right,
kind of
let's-
like you, Jimmy. It's like you, Jimmy. You got a clue, like writing this show.
There you go, Jim.
Yeah, what an opening that was.
By the way,
huh?
I just got word by one of our sponsors.
They put
They're
the baby's
canceling
head
us
back?
for the monologue.
They
so
put the
there you go.
baby's head back on. What's the issue? This is unbelievable. Unbelievable.
That's a work, by the way,
Hey,
that
quit
story.
ripping my ear off over there. Anyway, Barry, let's get to
That's
the final question here, okay? I've been thinking
I'm
about
ready.
this during the interview, so let's give it a shot. Vince
Oh.
McMahon calls you in to headquarters in Stamford, Connecticut, okay? And he looks at you. Well, Barry, it's good to see you. I'm thinking about bringing you in. Tell me why I should bring you in. As a trainer. What do you say to
okay.
Vince McMahon if Vince McMahon says to you, I've been considering you for a job here, sell
Okay.
yourself to Vince?
Well, first of all, I would shoot with him a little bit. I think he would appreciate it. I'd go, finally, I've been waiting for this opportunity, Vince. Yeah, I said, you don't have to worry about me. You know I'm going to be on time. You know I'm going to try to get your production over. Not me. Whatever you want done, I'm going to do it to my fullest extent as far as training, as far as everything, the technical aspect, not just grabbing a headlock, one tackle, get it again, how to get in the ring, how to conduct yourself as a pro in the ring and out of the ring, and how to get a match over. So I would be a different type of coach. And as far as I'm concerned, if you have you ever see a good movie, it's got 5 producers. They're basically all assistants until you got the top dog there, which would be Vince. And I would just add some flavor to the mixture, and if I don't, get rid of me. But give me a friggin' chance. I've made some of your stars that couldn't work look like they could work, and I know the famous answer is, well, that's your job, Barry. Yes, it is, but I've also seen you take care of different guys when they got hurt or they were sick and didn't even come close to me or been in the business as long as you know me. I mean, I know him since '81. You would think something, not even a little bit. I don't know. Maybe he doesn't like me because I'm Jewish. I don't know.
Oi,
I don't know what to think.
wait a minute.
Maybe
Have you
maybe if I started being late and failed drug tests, got
Right.
all jacked up and gassed, maybe that'll work and I'd be world champion next week.
Have you ever reached out to him regarding work? I mean, over the years? Or?
I try to call the office talent relations, and here's the deal. People have changed, and they're taught these are just secretaries. I'm not knocking anybody, but the women answering the phone. They don't know who I am, and they're
course.
not going to relay a message to Triple H or to
Right.
Sean or to the powers to be. There's
Right.
no friggin' way.
Right. You ever thought about just going straight to the performance center?
I'm glad you said that. I wasn't going to bring that up. I got in my car one day, 2 or 3 years ago, I guess.
Okay.
And I did this before, and people said, "You did this now?" Well, I had no other choice. I live 50 minutes from there. I drove
Wow.
up. I got there about 10 to 3. They wouldn't let me in, and they were kayfabing me at the door, and they had some kind of entrance like Mission Impossible, like he's reading my body and whatnot. All
Is
of
it
a
like the
sudden,
beginning of the
security
intro
comes
of Get Smart or something with all those different doors that open and close?
in. Something like that,
Okay.
but not to that extent.
Okay. Okay.
So anyway, they security comes out. Hey, my name is James. I'm head of security or Jim or whatever. They want to know what I want. So the guy doesn't know I had a hat on and I had some sunglasses. I took my hat and sunglasses off. He goes, "Oh my God, you're Jack Hart from Florida Wrestling. I used to watch you." I said, "That's fine. You know I'm not a mark and I'm not some crazy guy," because he did tell me there was some crazy people that tried to break the window or try to get in there.
Yes.
He said they left, and I don't know if they left. Maybe they did leave early. I said, is Terry Taylor in there? Somebody in there that I could state my case? I just want to talk to him. I gave him my business card. I don't think it ever got to him. You can't rely on that stuff. That's why I went there in person. I did call certain people. I didn't like the way they talked to me, disrespectful.
Yeah.
One of the trainers, it was basically like, "How long you been out of wrestling, Barry?" And I told him, "Guy, he can't lace my boots." And I'm going, and he's going, "Listen to this. This is ludicrous." So he's basically saying he thinks I'm just about you. Nothing to do. I want to be a trainer. Well, it wasn't that case. He didn't let me explain properly. And he goes, "Do you know who our CEO is? Do you know who our world champion is?" So he's testing me if I watch the product. Do I watch the product here and there? Only if I'm just giving these names out. If I saw somebody like, if I saw Kurt Angle working with Brett or Adam Cole or Cody, I'm stopping. I'm going to see a wrestling match, and that's what I like. I don't need to see a hardcore match. Some of the girls do wrestle like men. I like that because I'm seeing some fancy footwork there. So I said, "Let me ask you something. What in the hell does that got to do with my training ability, my resume, my accountability, me showing up on time, not drunk, going to help your product?" Would you say this to, I'm not in Flair's class or Hogan, or that, would you say that to them? Because you're being really disrespectful to me.
Agreed.
I said, "How dare you say that to me?" What you should say is, and you can't, because I'm not a fuck up. Are you still on drugs? Could you pass a pit test? Are you going to be on time? Could you stay here a few days? Could you drive up here 3 times? That's what you should have said.
Right.
Instead, you degrade me. Go fuck yourself.
Yeah. Who's the WWE
I don't like fucking
champion?
shit like that.
Oh, it's ridiculous.
What about AEW,
Do what now?
though? Why isn't AEW an option?
Yeah.
What do you mean?
As
to
a
work.
trainer.
To work at
They
AEW.
clearly
Well,
why
need
not?
trainers.
Well, I've pursued that a little bit, probably not to the right people, but they know where I'm at. They know my phone number. It's not like I'm saying you need to come to me, but they know where they know exactly where I live. Believe me, they always find your phone number. For some, they know for a wrestler, this and that. But I guess they're filled up on trainers. I guess I'm not figured in.
Barry, it's
As far
just
as
a
I'm
gut,
concerned,
it's just a gut read, but I'm telling you, Tony Khan would take you. I'm telling you.
no,
You got to
I'm
get
going
to
to tell
Tony
you
Khan.
something. Well,
sorry?
I walked in the room where I was going to the interview room, and he was going over a match, ideas, placing a match. Him and the little guy, the sunglasses, blonde hair.
Little guy.
He was a manager, and then I made him a worker. He sticks his hands in his pockets.
Orange Cassidy. Yeah. Yep.
Okay. So those two, it looked like Orange Cassidy had something to do with the finish. They were going over there, and I didn't want to say, "Hey, Mr. Khan, I'm Barry Horowitz. I'm glad I'm here. I'm glad to work for you." I
would have been thrilled.
Not ass kiss, but just it's called professionalism, and
Right.
I'm happy. It's your company,
Right.
and he was busy, and then when he wasn't busy, he's in his office. I didn't get a chance, and then I get busy, and then the thing happens, and then TV starts, and he's running around doing this. He's at the gorilla position, but he did look at me, and the look was unconcerned. Like it was like, "Oh, you're just a hired hand or something. You're just here." That's the feeling I got. Again, I find it disrespectful. Also,
Okay.
Barry,
I get
being
it.
the wrestler that you are, now that you brought it up, does Orange Cassidy and that style piss you off?
Dude, he's got his hands in his pockets. I understand he's athletic, but come on, Barry, help us out here. Why does this really repel us?
well, first of all, he's different. You could
That's
get away with it to a point.
Yeah.
I would have left him at the manager, and they went from manager to a top spot to a championship to a belt.
I can't.
I don't know about that. As far as the pockets and all that, that's incredible. As far as his moves, he's improved with suplexes and high
Sure.
spots.
Sure.
His look, he's not a huge guy, but to some degree you can get away with that. I don't know how far you want to do that, but it's like a good menu at a restaurant. There's a lot of variety on their show. Not everybody is huge. There's only probably a handful of guys that are jacked looking, in my eyes.
And by the way,
rest,
Barry,
could
we
work
don't
hard.
want we don't want to put you on the spot. We know that you're still active and there's great
Sure.
possibilities.
Sure.
So we do apologize for that.
I'm not under contract. There's no stooges here. I don't give a shit. I'm just
Excellent.
you should respect me for that. I'm not, I mean,
Yeah.
not you, but everybody. And in this business, if you say something, it's wrong. If I don't say nothing, it's wrong. It's pecking order, spot picking. You're going to take my spot. If I'm somebody else, you're allowed to say it. If you're not somebody, you know what? I don't have time for those pissing contests. I don't respect it. They don't respect me.
Excellent.
And they didn't train the way I did. If I had my way, everybody would be brought up in Tokyo, Japan, and you do jobs for 1 year. You break down the ring. You wash baba or whatever. You pay your dues.
Yep.
And you'll learn when you come back to the States how to respect this business.
Yep. I watched
And once
Jay
again,
White
I never
Switchblade
followed through.
do that.
I never followed through with the win-loss record. If you're concerned about that, give Vince your notice. Go to talk to Dana White. Get a tryout with Brock when he cleans your clock in 10 seconds. You'll beg for that position back on SmackDown. So get a
Agreed.
friggin' clue.
All right, let's end it with this. The top 4 greatest pro wrestlers in history and the top 4 greatest enhancement talent wrestlers in history.
Wow.
Oh, Christ.
Yeah, right?
You're on the spot, big guy.
Christ is not on this list. He's obviously, somewhere else. Let's stick with wrestlers, please. Oi.
You realize you're getting into past my bedtime. You realize you're getting into my...
Wait a minute,
I missed
wait
the
a
New
minute.
Jersey, no, wait a minute. I missed the Orange County Housewives. Let me think what else.
Jersey Shore's on tonight too. You're missing Jersey Shore.
I'm missing my gourmet yogurt right now.
All right, hold on.
But you
Hold
guys,
on,
that's
Barry.
like a priority.
Barry,
you
I can
come
help
first.
that. I can help with that. Just give me 1 second.
What?
Barry.
You can't do the English
Can you do it?
accent. So, Barry, I have to go now. My mom's coming in to make me some meatloaf and
Cocoa.
dust the fridge, but it's been just ducky, and I'll see you next
Ducky.
time.
Well, could you ask him
Oh
the
my
question?
God.
So it
What's the
stays up?
question? Oh,
Poor
Barry,
James.
could you list for us, please, your 4 greatest
Sure.
professional wrestlers, and then your 4 greatest talent enhancements?
Okay.
You're
I'll
welcome.
go with my
Bloke.
favorite. I'm going with Don Morocco.
Oh.
I'm going with Bob Orton Jr.
Ooh.
Nice.
Ooh.
Wow. 2 others. Kurt Angle.
Nice. Oh, man. This list.
That's number 3.
Yeah.
Number 4. Oh, boy.
Do we get a Hart or a Graham in there? What do we do
How
there?
about a Hogan?
Yeah, I was thinking of Hart and Grams and Jack Briscoe.
Yeah.
Nice.
Okay.
So I'm giving you those.
All right.
As far enhancement.
Well, I know who number 1 is. We're talking to him, but that's a whole nother story.
Yeah, I really think I do. I think I'm number 1.
You are.
Yeah, you are.
I mean, I'm
There's nothing wrong with that.
I'm going by different things that I do, and what they did with me, which was really cool, and I think I deserve it. But
Great.
why don't you throw 3 other people at me that because I don't want to knock
All right,
anybody
let
or
me-
think I'm better than them.
Can I
but-
help?
Okay.
Johnny
Sure.
Rods.
Johnny
Go ahead.
Rods.
Johnny Rods.
Oh my God, yes.
Johnny
Rods, Jose Estrada.
Thank you. That was next.
Nice.
Phenomenal.
That was next. Jose Estrada.
Phenomenal.
Okay.
Phenomenal.
How about quick draw Rick McGraw?
Looked really good. Good baby face.
Mhm.
I don't remember a lot of his matches. I saw him in Florida. I was
Okay.
up there when they made the North Carolina connection.
Mm-hmm.
The Carolina connection, him and Steve Travis.
Nice.
How about Frank Williams, who I considered a jobbing legend? He got smacked in the.
Come on.
What? I
look,
understand
his
he's
hand is
not
up.
technical.
All right, I got one
Well,
for
come
you
on,
because
sorry,
Pharaoh
I
can't
thought-
follow the show material.
What? I
Big-
wrote the opening.
Big
What?
Ron
I like Frankie.
Frank was awesome.
He just had that. I like Frankie, but
He tried. He
the
tried
look from-
really hard.
The look from the neck down.
Yeah, it
wasn't
was a
that
baked
good,
potato
and
with a
kinda
mustache. I got you.
Kind of looked like he looked like punch drunk a little bit.
How about Big Ron Shaw?
Oh, big Ron Shaw. Come on.
I liked Ron Shaw. He was
There
very
we
good back in
go.
the day, and he was an impressive individual.
Yes.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
Seriously.
Yeah.
They liked him too. They
Yeah.
did like him. Yeah, I remember.
Well, with that, Barry, you are an icon.
Oh yeah.
Thank you again for doing the show.
Thank you.
And
This
I
was
thank
really
you for
cool.
having a great sense of humor and us putting you on the spot.
yeah.
You're just an incredible human being, incredible wrestler. Thank you for what you've done in the industry. And I think Jimmy and me both feel that if the WWE or AEW was smart, they would bring you in to help train their personnel.
If.
I would love to. I mean, it's a great financial gain, but it's a great thing that I would teach the Malenko way. That's what I call it. It's not my way. It's the Malenko way, and a smidgen of my way too, because I didn't copy everything. I like to take a little bit from here, a little bit from there. So you don't want to be an exact. It's like an Elvis impersonator. You don't want to be the same
Right.
exact thing.
Right.
That's how I look at it, and I'm looking forward to. I hope one of these days I could get to your studio and spend more time and get free lunch.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
And we'll give you a razor
know.
to ship to Dutch Mantel to shave his back.
Yeah. Yeah.
yeah, and don't bring any jabronis in to work me or get freebies from me because I don't play that shit.
Yeah.
Well, Eric
Only for
Sims,
you
if you were
guys.
thinking about promoting the great Barry Horowitz, that ain't going to work. He just said you're a jabroni. Get out of
Yeah.
here.
Next.
Barry, we love you. Thank you so much.
Thank you guys, and infamous pay-per-view Madison Square Garden to both of you. Pat on the back.
Oh,
That's
wow.
it, baby.
Thanks, Barry. You the man.
All right,
Thank
great
you,
one,
Barry.
Barry.
Thanks, guys.
Thank you. What a week this has been.
It has been a
What
crazy
a week this
Abe,
has
are you
been.
okay? We're
Yeah,
stretching
Abe, you all right
man.
there, man?
We are stretching you, boy.
What time is it? I don't even want to know.
It's friggin' 10:35 already.
Wow. Time flies when you're talking to a legend.
My God. So we had Todd Gordon,
Yeah, we had the
Sal
watch along.
Corrente.
Don't forget the watch along that started
Barry
this
Won,
week.
and
Yeah,
the watch along.
too.
4 shows this week. 4
Unbelievable.
incredible shows.
Yep.
Barry
Yep.
Horowitz is a true
my
gentleman
God.
and a really good guy. And here's the thing about him. You can still see the passion he has for what he chose to do for his lifetime. If you love your art like that,
Yeah. He's real, man. That's the thing I love the most about him. He doesn't pull no punches.
No, he doesn't.
Take it like it is. If you can't handle it, get lost.
I think we upset him with the James thing. Though.
Did you?
No.
Well, you should have not put that in the script because you wrote that part, you wanker. Unbelievable. Go Man United, however.
Wait, I'm a little surprised. James is married.
James is
Did
fine.
you know James was married?
I had no idea. You know what? This is a compliment to the kid. He looks like a kid. He's married. Hey, way to go there, kid. Okay? What? You want the meatloaf, don't you? You want mom's meatloaf.
All right, with that, let's get. Listen, guys, thank you. We love you for joining us every Thursday.
Yeah.
You guys are an incredible family.
Oh, yeah.
God, we're so
yeah.
happy to have you with us every Thursday. I can't repeat it enough.
Thank you.
I do apologize for my laughter at the beginning.
That was
monologue.
unbelievable, man.
I don't know what came over me.
Yeah.
I'm sorry for that.
Yeah.
I want to again thank Sal Corrente. I want to thank
you, Sal.
Barry Horowitz.
Thank you, Barry.
Next week, guys,
Thank
I want
you,
you to
Todd.
prepare for it. I'll post it. We'll have This Week in Wrestling, and then we're going to have Ask Monty and the Pharaoh anything.
What?
So, if you're interested...
Anything?
Anything.
Oh,
if you're
I don't know if I'll
interested in
answer
it,
anything.
please email us at
maybe.
the www.montyandthepharaoh.com, and we'll give you a slot. It's not a phone call. You have to be on video.
Oh, it's
so
doing
what'll
the
happen-
video thing
It's
again.
right. So
Awesome. Great.
our producer will send you a link, and you don't even have to ask us. You could just ask a question. You could say whatever you'd like.
Sure.
And look, we'll be full of surprises. And so I'm asking you guys try to get it in.
Yeah.
Jason, thank you again.
JJ.
I really appreciate it.
Thank you.
You guys are our rock, and you keep us going every week. And I
Absolutely.
really do mean that. And what an honor it is to have such great wrestling personalities.
Just
on the show.
unbelievable. What a week
I do
this
feel
has
a
been.
little bad. I think we put Barry on the spot a little bit with some of the questions.
I'll tell you what, Barry don't feel bad. Barry's cool.
Dude,
Barry's
the guy's
just like
trying
those
to get
guys.
some work with both federations, and
So, which wiener over there do you think is a wiener?
But
Oh, yeah, that's going to really help his case.
He didn't want to insult. He didn't want to insult the kid. from
No,
England.
no,
You know what
he
I mean?
likes him. He
I
was
know.
being
Well,
honest.
but again, so we did put him in some spots.
It is what it is. He'll forgive us. I think he already has. You know?
All right. Well, anyway, again, next week. You ready for that, Abe? You gonna handle that? By the way, props to Abe for the way he's producing
guy.
the show. If we go off script and we're talking about something,
He just did a
bam!
Hogan over there.
He
Did you
just
see
But
that?
he puts everything up on time.
He's great.
He's all over
great.
it, dude. It's almost like fluidness.
Well, you know why? I always knew from the first time we met Abe. Abe gives a damn. You can see it.
Well,
you know.
the guy's a rock.
He is. He's great.
Anyway, guys,
Killing it,
please-
Abe. You're killing it.
Please, this week, get your spot in. We will start the Ask Monty and the Pharaoh about 9:10, right after the first commercial
Okay.
break, and then we'll have slots of 10 minutes, right? And we'll just talk, ask whatever you want.
Awesome.
And you know what? Again, we will answer any question you have, no matter.
And if
what
I
the
don't
question
answer it,
is.
he'll answer it for me. Ooh.
And I want to give everybody
Ooh.
an update. I did forget about this for the show.
Yeah,
okay.
what's that?
Jenny Farrow has contacted me yet again.
I've asked you not
I
to
understand.
do this. Okay, it's personal. Why are you doing this?
Anyway,
Go ahead. What did she have to say for herself?
She's still reaching out to you,
Yeah, let it keep reaching.
and she would like to make an appearance on the show. She's coming back from Florida. At some point, you will have
Florida?
not Florida. I'm sorry, California.
California.
I was thinking Florida. My
Yeah,
brain.
I thought she's
she's coming
relocated
from. She's
again.
coming from California.
All right, fine.
And sooner or later, you might have to meet face to face with her.
What do you mean I might have to?
We'll discuss it.
All right, fine.
Anyway, we love you
Right.
guys. Pharaoh, send us out.
You've been watching Monty and the Pharaoh, and until next week, on behalf of Mr. Monty, to all our fans out there, I'd like to give you all a pat on the back.
Very nice.
Later.